Yo, Big Kish back up in here. We about to go over Anatomy of a Lyrical Murder done by a rap critic. You know what I'm saying? He be putting them edits together. You know what I'm saying? You know I don't like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
So in the end, it was this emotional game of saying, well, if you go low, I go lower, but what's considered going low is subjective, so I can use this line crossing as the reason for why I had to push you, which was your reason to stab me, which was my reason to shoot back.
Do we have a calendar? Huh? Oh, USSR.
What up, y'all? Rap Critic here. And you know, despite living in a world full of division, uncertainty, and a social climate where people are just never able to agree on the facts of the reality we live in, it would seem that all of our multiverses converged at a nexus point to universally agree on one thing. Kendrick definitely fucked Drake up. It was the rap battle heard round the world, and it unfolded like a legendary epic being written in real time, with the back and forth of song responses at a speed never before seen in diss track history, ending with the success of today's song Not Like Us serving as the nail in the coffin for Drake's loss to Kendrick at the end of it all. But you know, in cultural moments like this, it could be easy to just hand the W over to whichever guy had the most people in his corner. And with Kendrick clearly seen as the respected lyrical rapper against Drake's super pop star status, that makes it even easier. But did Drake really lose the battle of lyrics, or did the momentum of Kendrick's back-to-back tracks just snowball things in his favor? Well, yes, but also yes. Regardless, I still think it's important to catalog how we got to this moment, because before the great diss track war of 24 got started, while there surely may have been some stewing animosity in the background, the most it ever amounted to were sneak disses and the general chest puffing shit that rappers are known for always doing anyways.
I could dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghost rider. What the fuck happened?
However, when the accusations of Drake...
Bro, they be throwing shots, man. Hey, I think this is why this battle has been going for so long, because I think fans were so tired of them just throwing shots at each other. It's like, yo, we want the real deal, you know what I mean?
Having ghostwriters started making the rounds, this lyric was Kendrick drawing a firm line about artistic credibility and which side he was standing on. And from how we understand Drake's music versus Kendrick's, the story writes itself in terms of how one is the artist who values his pen game and how it got him to where he is, while the other is the rap superstar who can rest on his laurels because he's got the pop hits so he can coast on his brand, pumping out underwhelming music that's too big to ever fail due to the sheer momentum of his popularity. And while it's clear at this point just how much heat Kendrick had stored up for a rapper who's essentially the poster child for the vapid disposable music of the era, am I the only one who noticed that Kendrick didn't initially go as hard at him on those first two diss tracks? No, for real, think about the first two joints, Euphoria and 616 in LA, and just how tame they sound compared to the scathing shots delivered on Beat the Grams and Not Like Us. This was on Euphoria.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I even hate when you say the word nigga. But that's just me, I guess. Some shit just cringeworthy. Ain't even gotta be deep, I guess.
Looking back, that's just him bullshitting and joking on Drake, the character. After Drake dropped Family Matters, though, that's when it became, you are hiding another child and are also trolling for high school girls. Like, sure, K-Dot goes in about the things we all know about him in the first two tracks, Euphoria and 616 in LA, but content-wise, it's nothing that deep. Dude's essentially running the dozens on the guy and picking him apart from a purely aesthetic level.
Cut the finish, you got shit twisted. What is it, the brakes? I hurt your feelings, you don't work for me no more. Okay.
So as much as we want to treat how nasty this battle got as a foregone conclusion now, when I listen back to the first two tracks, I hear a guy who's actively trying to tell Drake not to push the line if he doesn't want the same energy returned.
I know you're a master manipulator.
Oh no, I disagree. I think Kendrick went hard, man.
And a bitch will lie you too, but don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you.
See, even with that allusion to the chorus of the Heart Part 4,
Don't tell a lie on me, I won't tell the truth about you.
I'd wager that the first track, Euphoria, was still him treating it like a friendly game of baseball, but by the second track, 616 in LA, it legit comes off like a calm before the storm, and a bit of a warning that Kendrick was aware of Drake trying to shit sling and hide his hand.
It was fun until you start to put money in the streets. They lost money cause they came back with no receipts. You playing dirty with propaganda, hit blow up on you. It's time that you look around on who's around you. Before you figure that you're not alone, ask what Mike would do.
And well, because of what we ended up with the jaw-dropping accusations and Not Like Us and Meet the Grams, it's easy to frame this as a thing where Kendrick had planned to air out his dirty laundry from the beginning. But while you certainly can't have made the songs he ended up releasing without having a burning pit of hatred that's been slow cooking for years, I don't think he was initially gonna empty the full clip on dude. Cause in addition to the contrast and severity from the first two tracks to the last two, just to rewind and put things in context, the whole reason this round of disses popped off is because Kendrick's initial response to a line by J. Cole on Drake's first-person shooter track.
When they argued our hardest MC, is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali.
And it was intended as a commercial.
That was so corny when he did that. It's like he was listening to somebody in the background. Okay, Drake, do the punches.
camaraderie thing, like shouting out the success of guys he considered friends. But even still, Cole ends it by framing himself as the boxer who called himself the greatest of all time, right? But like, do you really think that was him exposing some real rivalry he had at Kendrick or Drake? No, it's just what you're supposed to do as a rapper. You can't be like, I'm a top 5 rapper, but you know, I'm cool with being like number 3 or 4 in people's list. No, you're supposed to say some shit like,
Motherfuck the big 3. Nigga, it's just big me.
well, like that. So when I first heard this lyric, I wasn't thinking like, oh man, J. Cole and Kendrick are really at odds about who they think is the best. Like, come on, let's drop the kayfabe here. This is all a lyrical dick measuring contest where the point is to prove your case as being the best. He even frames it as such in the first diss track.
Yeah, Cole and Nap, you know, I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, YNW Melly. We ain't gotta get personal. This a friendly fade. You should keep it that way.
I took it the same way as when Kendrick featured on Big Sean's Control like 9 years ago, where he essentially had the same sentiment of calling out the biggest names in the industry.
We usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is. And that goes for Jamaica, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas.
It clearly wasn't out of a spirit of hatred, but to light a fire under
I know I'm getting copyright claim. I know, I got all types of shit playing.
the game in general and snap people out of the popularity contest of rappers just vying for the hottest song, to bring the focus back to who's bringing the dopest rhymes and wordplay. And that's what made me sort of peeved that J. Cole made a whole diss track to K-Dot and then just retracted it and pulled it from streaming services. Like, first off, you already made it, and it wasn't even that bad anyways, but secondly, it's like, come on, it's not like anyone is really thinking Kendrick and J. Cole of all people have some beef to air out. It's just entertainment. So when he deleted it and people were acting like Kendrick was gonna flame on Cole the way he ended up flaming on Drake, I don't think it was ever gonna get too real on that front. Now, of course, with Drake, it's a slightly different matter, because yeah, there is that looming antagonism in terms of their approach to music, but in Euphoria and 616 in LA, while you can hear the hostility in Kendrick's words, there's still a level of restraint that is not present in the latter two diss tracks. Like, despite the animosity, I could see a world where they just kept it to light jabs and it didn't go any further. However, many people point to Drake's track Family Matters being the song that kicked things into high gear, by bringing family into the fray at the end of the track by accusing him of being an abuser.
They hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat on your queen.
Lobbing a pretty heavy claim as a shot to even the odds. Now, I've seen people cite this line as the reason things got as ugly as they did. Despite that though, I feel like people forgot about this set of lines on Euphoria that actually bring up family first.
I got a son on the race, but I can see you don't know nothing about that. Waking them up, know nothing about that.
And Drake specifically brings up that that's the reason why he goes personal on this track.
You mentioned my seed, now deal with his dad. I gotta go bad, I gotta go bad.
Now, granted, Kendrick's talking about what's common knowledge about Drake at this point, so maybe he didn't consider it as low of a blow. And even so, technically, Kendrick's pulling an I'm not touching you moment by talking about his own son here, but you know what the point is supposed to be. I'm a responsible father and you're not. To go Drake and antagonize him about the last major beef Drake had that led to the information about him having a son leaking. That said, you could say he's really only talking about his son in direct relation to talking about Drake being a deadbeat. But hey, in that same vein, you could also say that it was fair game for him to bring up the abuse allegations, because that's not really talking about her, it's talking about Kendrick's character in relation to her. So in the end, it was this emotional game of saying, well, if you go low, I go lower, but what's considered going low is subjective, so I can use this line crossing as the reason for why I had to push you, which was your reason to stab me, which was my reason to shoot back.
Do we have a calendar? Huh?
DJ Vlad, man, you better respect it, bruh. You better respect it, man. For real, bro. This is classic right here, bro.
Oh, USR.
But honestly, that's kind of the problem with a rap battle like this, because even though it started as friendly competition, well, since there aren't really any rules, some shit that started as a game can tunnel out of control once egos that don't want to take a loss get too invested. So hey, maybe it was smart for J. Cole to bow out when he did, but I don't know, maybe we could have contacted each other, settled some ground rules before things got started. Okay, you two, I want to see some good, clean bars. No jabs at family members or unfounded allegations. Now fight! Because I still think the idea of doing a rap battle of the biggest names in hip-hop, but purely for...
Hey, y'all, let me know if y'all remember Celebrity Deathmatch, man. That used to be my joint, man, on MTV.
Sport is a fine idea on its own. It's just that when there's clear lurking resentments behind each MC that spills out as soon as things get heated, yeah, it changes the mood. Because again, who says where the line is? Maybe to Kendrick, bringing up Drake's well-known deadbeat dad claims were fair game, while Drake thought referencing family in any capacity is grounds for taking the gloves off, so drudging up unconfirmed family issues on Kendrick's end was his only route for matching his energy to try to take the win. Although, hey, it's too late now, the tracks are out, so it's up to the people to see who really got who. Now, of course, there's the people that would ask, well, is any of what they said actually true? But honestly, it feels weird treating a rap battle like some serious calculation of the weight of one man's sins against another's. Because the reality is, we're not these rappers' friends, and we're not private investigators whose job is to know the exact truth of things. At the end of the day, this is a performance of a battle of egos where two guys have a reason to exaggerate the truth to win. And yes, while of course using elements of the truth like common knowledge about the opponent certainly helps your case in terms of making a claim more digestible, as an audience member in this coliseum of lyrics, it's just our job to be swayed by a convincing entertainer. Now, as far as I can tell, there isn't evidence for Drake's claims, but hey, that's the point of him specifically mentioning the crisis management team, right? It's supposed to be the sort of, well, even if I can't prove it, it's just because your team is hiding it so well. That's probably what made it his best framed attack from Drake's side, because it functioned with the absence of knowledge we have about Kendrick as a seed of doubt that could have gotten more traction if Kendrick's response wasn't as swift as it was. Now, on the other hand, there is proof of Drake kissing the 17-year-old on stage, but even with that truth on Kendrick's side, he still could have dropped the ball on addressing it or worded it in a way that didn't make enough of an impact. But,
Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
yeah, I think he got the job done. Like, if you go back to that beef between Jay-Z and Cameron,
I thought he stepped on the 9 before. He skipped that 9, yo. He skipped the 6 and the 9.
where Cam kept upping Jay-Z's age as a way to insult him.
You talking about you an 80s baby. You 37 years old. You was born in 1968. And I opened the Daily News. How's the King of New York rocking sandals with jeans? How's the King of New York rocking sandals with jeans and he's 42 years old?
It's not about what his age actually was. It was about joking on Jay-Z for his age to needle at the way people were having tensions at the time about him being an older MC still trying to hang in the game with younger cats. Because in general, a rap battle is about being able to poke at those weak spots more than the other MC can do it to you. Now, of course, things were a little more lopsided against Drake here, what with the fact that him being the public pop star makes his flaws and slip-ups easier to keep track of. But balancing that out was the reality of the fact that Drake is still a huge pop star who, despite having his flaws pointed out in previous battles, has been able to maneuver through the black eyes and pummeled weak spots. And who knows, in an alternate universe, Drake focused on making a really solid pop song with some really slick cutting words to K-Dot, and maybe we could have had a more balanced fight in terms of who took the win. But honestly, the way Drake fouled this up was so spectacularly bad, the man all but polished his spot on my worst lyrics list this year, so we don't even have time to get into how badly he fucked that up. And it's funny, because if you cast your mind back to late April, this didn't start off feeling like it was automatically going to be a Kendrick win, right? When this whole thing blew up, it was Drake who dropped 2 joints in a row, essentially taunting Kendrick with the fact that he could drop a track whenever he wanted to. And that was the initial game Drake was playing with Kendrick. So as much as you could say Kendrick was sort of skirting the line of fairness with dropping the Adonis reference in his initial diss, I also gotta give some side-eye to Drake over the game he was trying to play with Kenny. Cause come on, let's be real, we all know why you were able to put out those tracks so quickly, bro. You've got a team of ghostwriters. Of course you could drop a track whenever you want. So Drake was doing all this taunting secured in the fact that he'd be able to nip right on Kendrick's heels with any response he had. With the modern internet attention game being, if you took too long, well, the battle belongs to the other guy because he was able to act on the momentum sooner and capture all the heat. However, when not even a half hour after Family Matters music video was uploaded, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, that blew things right in his favor. Because now the audience could see, oh shit, Kendrick could drop a diss when he wanted to. He definitively beat Drake's initial gambit to manipulate the audience with the speed of output. So Kendrick could match Drake's turnover time, and what's more, we know he's writing it all himself. And so with that side of the battle addressed by Kendrick, we now strictly have to focus on the actual content of the songs. And well, when everyone heard how Cornrow Kenny crafted Meet the Grams with this scathing but intricately woven narrative, it seemed like all he needed to do to turn
Cornrow Kenny.
the tide of battle. But then when he hit the overkill switch and dropped another track not even a full day later with Not Like Us, demonstrating that he could pull a back-to-back the next fucking day with lyrics that were just as vicious if not more so, this shit was over. Or should I say OVO or over, you get the idea. Even so though, I always like to really root through the lyrics of a diss track to really see if the opponent got, because sometimes things like this have a way of building up culturally so that it becomes assumed to be accepted as the conclusion before people really think for themselves about how it went. That said, that is definitely not the case here. Quite honestly, this might be the greatest rap diss of all time.
Monster Hunter beat ho Debo, any rap nigga, he a freak though.
Like, this man really was short Debo, lyrically tormenting Drake with each searing attack.
You niggas will get a wedgie, be flipped over your boxes, or over your foe. The other fashionable option, pussy.
Even this line that isn't even really that deep, but it still perfectly illustrates Kendrick as being the school bully hanging Drake by his proverbial drawers at his locker and picking on his clique's name.
Well, over your foe. The other fashionable option, pussy.
Despite the cutesy name calling, though, it is not a game for this guy. He starts this track saying he's about to lyrically crucify this motherfucker, and he did not make that threat lightly.
Man down, call her ambulance, tell him breathe, bro. Nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo.
And more than just the accusations lobbed, it's the way he delivers the message that makes it sting so hard, where you can all but see Kendrick doing the DreamWorks face at you while he's saying it.
Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him.
It's not just that he pulls up these dark allegations against him, it's the timing and the delivery he uses to craft the perfect joke moment out of it.
They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs, and Baka got...
Bruh, he rapping like nonchalant, like ain't nothing phasing him at all. That's the part. That's what it is. Like he not. It's like he know he's gonna win. It's like, bro, I got this, and I'm about to swag it out with it. Like,
got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. That fuck him up.
And what's hilarious about it is he's doing this while undercutting Drake's reliance on memes to ease his way through the last couple beefs, which you could see him starting to do before the public perception really set in.
Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
Like, this line is a fucking masterstroke of genius. Actively nullifying Drake's playing card of trying to control the narrative with memes while also using it to serve as the lead-in for his own devastatingly quotable wordplay.
Go. The audience not dumb. Shape the stories how you want. Hey Drake, they're not slow.
Just the way he expertly cuts Drake off at the pass here, pretty much putting a roadblock in the way of Drake's attempts to reframe things by predicting it as his next move and adding to that feeling of Kendrick's words holding weight. Now, you could say he's being manipulative to control the narrative himself, but, you know, you could just as easily say, what are you gonna do? Not try to do that against someone who you think is gonna do it to you? Plus, he makes it pretty clear that this isn't all the info he might have on him.
Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise.
But honestly, the amount of shit he drudges up on this track alone is more than enough to bury the guy.
Fucked on Wayne Grow while he was in jail. That's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. Your homeboy needs a subpoena. That predator moving flocks. That name gotta be registered and placed on neighborhood watch.
Alright, but just to make it clear that I'm not just trying to coast this review on a wave of uncritical praise that everyone else is doing anyways, I actually do have a couple of notes on lyrics that hit a little odd for me.
Eat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.
And I get the point of this lyric, but it still strikes me a little odd. Like, sure, it's...
nah, we good on that. Yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about the video. Appreciate you, Rap Critic, for all your editing and all of that. But yeah, we straight on that. But yeah, Big Kish signing out. Y'all go subscribe and like, comment. Y'all get them likes up too, man. Let's get to 1,000. You know what I mean? I'm gone.